All right, we are reviewing a few different things. We have factors, multiples, prime numbers, and composite numbers. Supplies we're going to need today are simply a pencil and maybe something bright if you want to highlight something really important today. So go ahead and snag your supplies and let's get started. All right, the first thing we have is a quick review of factors, and I like to use Factor Ninja to help us remember that Factor Ninja chops numbers smaller because our factors are what we multiply to get a number. I like to use T-charts to help list out the factors. I'm going to show you why I like T-charts better than some other things. I always start with the number 1, right? Because 1 times that number is going to get me there. So I always start with 1 and then just continue with 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and see if those work as factors for that number, and I'll show you why in just a second. So 1 times 20 gives us 20. So 1 and 20 are factors of 20. 2, can I multiply 2 times something and get 20? Yes, 2 times 10. Can I multiply 3 times something and get 20? I can't, so I move on to 4. Can I multiply 4 times something and get 20? We can, 5. Now the reason I like to go in order, starting with 1, is that, well, I'm done. There aren't any more numbers between 4 and 5 that are nice and friendly. So I'm kind of like turning around. The only other things I've got are 5 times 4, which we already have, and 10 times 2, which we already have, and 20 times 1, which we already have. So my little nugget for you guys is to start with the factor 1 and just go up from there until you can't really go anymore. And I'll show you another example over here with 15. I always start with 1. 1 times 15 is 15, so then I just move on to 2. Can 2 times a number give us 15? No, because 15 is odd, not a friendly number anyway. So I try 3. Well, 3 times 5 gives us 15, so that works. And now here's why I like to go in order. The only number between 3 and 5 is 4, and 4 times a number is not going to give us 15, so I know that I am finished. So the factors of 20 are 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. The factors of 15 are 1, 3, 5, and 15. Right? So a factor times a factor gives us a multiple. So the factors are what's going to make up that product. Okay, so multiple monster. The reason I like multiple monster is because multiple monster makes numbers bigger. As we grow our multiples, our number is getting bigger. Multiples are honestly all just a fancy word for skip counting, and we can jot that down. That's it. Our multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and so on forever. We're just skip counting. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8, and so on. Right, if we want to do the multiples of 5, well, the multiples of 5 would be 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. We're getting bigger as we're counting multiples because we are skip counting. All right, then a quick review of prime numbers. Remember, prime numbers have 2 factors. 2 factors, exactly 2 factors. For example, the number 5 has only 2 factors. The only numbers that I can multiply to get 5 are 1 times 5. Nice numbers anyway. The only nice numbers I can multiply to get 11 are 1 times 11. They're prime. They have exactly 2 factors, 1 and itself. What about 2? Well, 1 times 2. And 2 is very important because 2 is actually the only even prime number. We might jot that down. 2 is the only even prime. There we go. Awesome. Then we have composite numbers. And composite numbers simply have more than two factors, like 4. We can have 1 times 4, but we can also have 2 times 2. How many factors is that? 1, 2, we already used 2, so that doesn't really count. 1, 2, 3 different factors. What about 27? 1 times 27, 3 times 9. Yeah, what about 16? 1 times 16, 2 times 8, 4 times 4. They all have more than 2 factors. Let's talk about a very special number though, 1. What are the factors of 1? 1, right? The only numbers we can multiply to get 1 are 1. So 1 is not prime because it doesn't have exactly 2 factors, and 1 is not composite because it doesn't have more than 2 factors. 1 is neither because it only has 1 factor itself. So that's a very, very special one. 1 isn't prime, it's not composite because technically it only has 1 factor itself, the number 1. And 2 is the only even prime number. So there we go. Factor Ninja chops numbers up smaller. So factors are the numbers that we multiply to get a number. Multiple Monster makes numbers bigger. It's just skip counting, right? Multiples make a number grow. Prime numbers have exactly 2 factors. Composite numbers have more than 2 factors. And 1 is a super important number because it's not prime, it's not composite, it's actually neither. All right, there we go.